Everyone.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us and welcome to the live stream.
Again. Doesn't seem like a week.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a week at all. Thank you for everyone who's already joined us. There's 19 with us so far, which is absolutely fabulous. So thank you everyone. And we'd like to give a quick shout out to the members, which is growing. So Ellen Fisher, Mother Wolf, Gaz Gazia, and our new member, Maxine Ray. Thank you all. So, yeah, another long week we've got through, haven't we, this week?
Yeah. Glad you can join us, Jan. Cozy night in. The wind outside here, it's blowing a gale.
We've had the wind for the last couple of weeks, and all we can hear is the windows rattling and things chinging in the garden. So I can imagine the chairs are blowing over at this stage.
Hi, Tessie.
Hi, Tessie. Thank you for listening.
Hi, Rich and Clovia. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. So I think we've covered quite a bit this week, haven't we? The identity consultation was quite a big thing covering this week. I noticed a couple of other channels were covering it as well, but not as many as I imagined. I thought a lot more channels would be getting the information out there to make sure that many more people search out the consultation form and take a good look at it.
And we did get accused of being scaremongering.
We did.
Can't please everybody.
One of the truther channels here in the UK have actually removed the post from their page, and it doesn't make sense to us, does it?
It was a Facebook group.
It was a Facebook group. So whether Facebook themselves have removed it, but they would have removed it from my pages as well. So it doesn't really make sense, especially when it's a government imposed thing that's actually on the government website. So crazy.
Nothing we said wasn't true. It's all there.
Hi, Danny, Cassandra. Hi, Tanette. Hi, Julie.
Stuck in Kentucky. Wish we were.
Well, we did look at it quite a lot, Julie, because it's quite concerning, really. We were trying to work out. Hi, Karen, Prime of Midlife.
Good to see you.
We were trying to work out how to present it, because obviously when we present these facts, we don't want it to be doom and gloom or look as if we're scaremongering, but, the truth is the truth, and what can you do with that? You can only present it in the way that it is being presented to us by the government or by the authorities. So we just wanted to interpret the way we saw it as well as the way it was being presented, but everyone has to make their own decision on these things, And
it took a long time writing all the notes out as well. Yeah, it was a real eye-opener, Julie.
I mean, even for us that were expecting such things to happen, we still didn't expect it to be so soon in our lifetime for these things to be implemented. There's so many things being implemented right now that it's a lot sooner. Hold on tight, because things are going to get rocky, and the only way we can survive that is, fastening our belts, not squandering anything that we have, and be careful. If you're doing a declutter or you're doing anything within the household where you're going to be getting rid of stuff, make sure that you've got a replacement for everything before you give things away, sell them or throw them away, because if you have an item and you're giving something away or tossing it even, and your item breaks, that's going to cost you money to replace. It's hard because we haven't got space to hold things, but you have to make sure you've got replacements. We've got to stick together, Danny, and that's the good thing about this community. You know, we're not only making each other aware of information, but we're motivating and educating each other along the way of how we can survive, how we can stay motivated whilst we're doing these things.
That's it, son. You'd always keep things and they'll come in useful one day. You're scared of throwing anything away.
Well, you always find once you've gotten rid of something within a week or 2 weeks, that's the thing you're going looking for, and you remember you gave it away or you got rid of it. It doesn't fail, does it? How many times have I done it?
But we'll always buy second hand. If anything goes, we look. If the fridge goes, we'll buy second hand, or the cooker or the washing machine.
That's it. Hoarders aren't to be laughed at anymore, Tessie, you're right. Patience with each other is a big thing, and that was quite crucial on the identity post, because I did say on the video, you know, all views are welcome, even if we disagree with each other. You know, we're adults and we can debate this, not to be angry or fall out with each other, because it's the authorities imposing these things upon us. And if we think such a thing is convenient for us, we're going to stick to our guns and we're going to say, no, this is a good thing, no matter how much somebody else says, no, it's a bad thing. You're not going to accept that if you're benefiting from it. So to not fall out between ourselves and feed into the division, you know, we can agree on 95% of things, but you're always going to disagree with someone on some subject. And is that where it's falling out and losing a friendship over? As a married couple, we can agree on 95% of things, but there's always going to be that tolerance section that we don't agree with, no matter how big or how small that is. There's always going to be something we don't agree on. It is the depression again, Dragon Lady. You're true. It's true. But we can sing, you know, if you pray, you can pray. We can garden, we can prep, we can still do whatever we need to do to get through this, you know, and we can still keep ourselves motivated. That's
it, Tessie. You just don't need just a month ahead for food. You need a year, if not 18 months, 2 years.
No, well, we've always aspired to a year, but when you break it down, you think, well, how much space have you got to storage? How much food would you actually have to eat? You know, even just for a couple, never mind a family.
That's the hard part.
How long would it last you, you know, what you've got?
There's a lot of tension everywhere, Redman. There's a lot of division, divide and conquer. That's what they want to do.
That's why we've not got to feed into that. We've not got to fall out with each other, not got to argue. We can debate and we can agree to disagree like adults.
I mean, we've got a pantry. We have got a bit of space, but it's filling up pretty quick. And we're always looking for somewhere else any cupboard that we can empty to fill it up.
when you've got large quantities of things, so say like you've got large bags of pasta, or you've got large bags of flour, or you're trying to reserve water just in case you need water, those things are bulk spaces, aren't they? You know, and they're normally quite heavy. So yeah, space is a really big consideration.
Convert a bedroom.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, that. Just blocking the light out so the light doesn't fade the food or anything like that. Yeah, it's a good idea. That's a good idea, Dolphin Beer. You'd store it in your dishwasher. And how much space would you fit in a broken dishwasher? Excuse me. When the children were younger, we had a dishwasher for a short period of time, and we didn't. Oh, it wasn't a dishwasher. It was a clothes dryer. Yeah. For a really short period of time, we kept it under the stairwell, and we barely used it. I think we only used it a couple of times. I mean, we must be going back 15, 16 years ago. And the primary use was it to hide Christmas or birthday presents.
Yeah.
That was the biggest use it ever got, wasn't it?
You're looking up storage stacking.
Yeah.
Mm.
See, what they do have, what we did initially when we started a few years ago, first of all, Mr. Wallflowers built some shelving in the pantry out of pallet wood, and we stained it. Oh, it was so beautiful. I was absolutely chuffed with all the work you'd done on it. But we found it wasn't weight bearing enough for excess tins, bottles, etc. So we looked on the internet, and unfortunately, there were companies closing down then that couldn't afford to stay open. And they were selling their metal, stainless steel racking. And we come across one that was really good weight bearing, wasn't it? I can't even imagine what the weight bearing was, 750 something. Galvanized steel, and they were great. And we managed to get 4 of those at the time.
Screwed them to the wall.
Yeah, supported
Solid.
them. Because in places where you get earthquakes or tremors, tornadoes, anything like that, you have to make sure that your shelving's screwed to the wall, because if there is any slight tremor in the floor, your canning jars, everything will just be on the floor and smash. So we don't generally get anything like that, do we? We preempt it and screwed it all to the wall just to make sure it was secure. Hi, Grammy. Hi, JB. Hi, Jane. Oh, it's lovely to see so many of you here.
Yeah, thank you. Tessie's saying she doesn't believe in a bug out bag because once you leave, you're not coming back, are you?
That's it. That's it. No, at least you can have enough food for a couple of days to take with you or something, you know.
Well, it's not going to last, is it?
No, well, nothing's going to last, but if you can manage to get
staying at home and just.
I mean, the only ideas we've got of using bug out bags and escapes is the dystopian movies that they show on TV, and hoping you fall across someone's stash who actually has canned or has prepped, you know, and they've vacated the property, and you've managed to, you know, take advantage.
Just stays in your own home.
But the likelihood of that happening here in the UK is very, very low, isn't it? You know, although we'd like to think there's a lot of preppers, I think we're a very small community, really.
That's it. Where do you go? As soon as you go out, you'll be attacked.
And have you got the skills to make a hut from any trees in a wooded area? Have you got the skills to make a fire without
that's a good point, Red Man. Go to McDonald's, they'll never shoot.
See, these are the types of things we need to learn. Can you make a fire when needed, especially for the use in your own garden before you bug out? But if you had to leave the property, where would you go? You know, it's all right saying look for your highest peak, but even in our area, we have tall beacons. But then you're unprotected, you're out in the elements. If you had to stay there overnight, there are foxes, animals, everything. So how do you protect yourself? Because we're not used to that. Yeah, but would you be able to kill a fox and eat it? Can you eat fox? What can you eat? What can't you eat? You know, how do you know what diseases it's got? You can't, you know.
I'm sure you would, Karen. Come on.
What's she saying?
She wouldn't last 24 hours.
You know, there's a lot of thought needs to be put into it. You know, we'd like to think, oh, nothing's going to remove us from our homes. But if that worst case scenario happened, she would, Julie. We all know she would. Gosh, yeah. I mean, rabbits have diseases. What's it called?
Dermatitis.
And they have other things, myxomatosis and different diseases. But can you tell with the naked eye, looking at a rabbit, which one's got myxomatosis? Or...
By the eyes, can't you?
Well, I don't know.
When the eyes are like...
So Tessie's saying, and think about this, when you leave, others will take over your home. Then you are left with nothing at all. I will take my chances and be fully protected here. Yeah. I have heard about people, you know, talking about security within the home. Anna, I can't think of Anna's channel, but Anna, she's a lovely lady. She's been talking about security within the home recently, especially for preppers and security cameras in particular, etc. And there have been other people talking about whether you're in a country or a state where you're able to have a gun with a gun license, etc. Obviously, here in the UK, it's not something we can't do, you know. But apparently, in the UK, it's legal to have a crossbow. So, you know, and then you've got the definitions in the law then. So we've got legalese law, which is dictating saying we can't do absolutely anything. If someone breaks into our home, we're not allowed to retaliate, or we could get prosecuted, etc. But when we go right back to natural law, if someone breaks into my home and injures me and I retaliate and kill him, who's committed a crime? Who's done the wrong?
More often than not, it's
there's only one wrong, and that's the person who entered my home and harmed me.
More often than not, it's
my
the person in the home
retaliation
that gets
and the
done.
self-defense in natural law is not a crime. It's expected of me, and it's the ultimate thing what I should do. But in legalese law, if I kill that person, I'll go to prison because I've killed a person. That's you know, it's twisted.
Regardless whether they broke in or not, you can only use so much force.
That's it. How would you with a family, Jane? That's completely true. You know, it's all right, two adults or an adult on their own, but how would you take children to an exposed area and expect to be able to build a fire, keep them safe, keep them warm, give them shelter, if you don't even have any of the basic skills to do it in the first place? It's correct.
I mean, you can have a gun in the UK, but you have to have a license. You have to apply and pass all the regulations.
And then they're only
lots
applicable.
of farmers go hunting and they have guns on their land, but the normal everyday person on the street doesn't have guns or
not allowed to. It's against the law. But even if you do have a gun license for a specific sport or job, it's only applicable to that sport or job. If you use that for defense or anything else, you'd be a criminal, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
No, not even hunting rifles. I suppose you'd have to have a license for that.
Yeah, you have to have a license.
Yeah.
You can't have one without a permit. It's against the law.
No, not without a permit.
And you'd have to pass all the tests to get it and say why you needed it.
Yeah, we're not allowed any weapons. You know, if we got stopped out in the street, or you got seen that you had a baseball bat by your front door, and an intruder came in your house, and you hit them with a baseball bat, and they were injured, you'd be prosecuted because it's premeditated. And a premeditated crime because you had that baseball bat.
You can only use reasonable force to detain them, not to like batter them or.
It's all new age nonsense, you know. It's all don't hit anyone back and don't do this and don't do that.
No,
it's not natural
our police
law
don't
in this
carry
country.
Guns. Our police are unarmed. They carry like pepper spray, CS spray.
Sometimes they're armed now.
We have
more.
Specialist units that are armed that get called out to armed situations, but the normal police officer on the street doesn't have guns.
We did start noticing a couple of years ago more and
it's more and more
of
these groups
guns now. Yeah, they have tasers, you know. That's right.
Tasers.
Yeah. Where are you, Redmond?
Yeah, that's the problem. They all just end up shooting each other when they had a drink.
Who said that?
Frugal Queen.
Crazy.
Wolverhampton. Well, most of your police are armed.
Where's that?
Wolverhampton.
Wow. How far away would that be?
It's only an hour.
That's crazy, then, isn't it? Crazy. See, we're not used to anything like that in the UK.
We've hardly got
only
any
off
police in our
recent.
town as it is. We've only got about 18 police that cover the whole of West Lancashire. And that's covered on 3 shifts.
Keep everything locked and double locked and as secure as you possibly can. Yeah. Keep the lights on. Crazy. And keep your curtains shut soon as the lights go off, and you don't let anyone see in your property. See, summer's worse because you leave your curtains open longer, don't you? And then people can see directly into your house.
Yeah. Kind of saying near this police station's 20 minutes away.
Wow. Ours is about 10, isn't it?
Not even that far.
Yeah.
But there's no police in there. It doesn't get policed. It's a brand new police station that they've just built, and they've got about 4 police officers covering each shift.
Crime is quite big. I suppose, like anywhere, Tessie, drugs is a major issue. And there's quite a lot of theft. There's quite a lot of violence. And it's being reflected more and more.
But it only seems to be in their world, the drug world. They're all shooting each other. And
yeah, there's a lot of shootings quite regularly. People in the wrong place at the wrong time being shot for the wrong reason because they just happen to be in the way. They're becoming more frequent. As I say, the teenagers now are taking what are called legal highs that are being sold by shops legally for different things, and the teenagers are taking them and they're becoming more and more blatant about it. In our area, our shopping centre, it's become a major problem with large groups of teenagers taking something called bubble. So it's in a silver packaging. I can't remember what its real purpose is for.
It's the laughing gas, isn't it?
Laughing gas, and they
nitrous oxide.
They take it as a drug and just leave the evidence all around the floor. But they're getting more and more aggressive, and some of them are carrying baseball bats and being intrusive in the shops, aggressive and attacking people. And because they're getting away with so much, they seem to egg each other on and step it up, and have been getting more aggressive. And a couple of weeks ago, the local police had to section off the shopping centre and the local area to try and capture these gangs in the middle. And
it's only like 14 to 18-year-olds that are causing all the problems in the town.
But it's all drug related, isn't it? Even more severe drugs. I mean, we never used to have homeless people in our town sleeping outside the shopping centre. You know, we'd go into the next town and we'd see it quite frequently during the day, during the night, homeless people sleeping next to shops asking for money, etc. But we never ever saw it in our town.
Odd one.
And it's creeping in now. We're seeing them during the day sitting outside the shops in the sleeping bags and asking for money. And that was never a thing that was happening here, was it?
No.
And it's the drug climate, you know.
Yeah, there's lots of knife crime, especially in the cities, in the big cities. We're glad you live out in the country, Karen, because we'll be coming to you if we have to leave.
We'll be bugging out to you, love. If we have enough diesel.
We can walk it in 3 weeks.
It is sad, but no grass is greener, Frugal Queen. You know, just because you're not aware of it doesn't mean the undercurrent isn't there. I'm sure even in France there's disgusting behaviour happening with people who are on drugs, what they do in their communities and how it affects some people around them. You might not always be aware of it, but you know, that's one of the major things that's affecting a lot of towns, a lot of places, is drug use and the infiltration of people bringing the drugs to the towns, etc. It's absolutely disgusting.
Fighting over the turf.
Yeah, because obviously they were earning a lot of money, weren't they? It's just the young lads that get involved, and girls, and they end up with criminal records, addictions, and problematic life they're on for the rest of their lives, don't they?
In the middle of a concrete hellhole. It's like what we are.
You better watch out. Frugal Queen Tessie's on her way to yours to bug out. I think we might all head there.
That's it. Drugs is big business. But I mean, you say America got flooded with the cocaine in the 80s, and it was the FBI that got it in there. With Pablo Escobar, they were working hand in hand with Pablo Escobar to flood the country with cocaine.
And they admitted it, didn't they? It's not rumour, it's fact, isn't it? Yeah.
So you don't know how much is going on behind the scenes and how much it is planned.
I think I know a song about that, Jane. I'm a lumberjack.
It's on it. I see empty shelves behind you. Yeah. You want next week to be tins of soup on me.
That's because I haven't rearranged yet after removing the Christmas decorations.
Yeah, that's true, Redman. Zelensky does love it. And he's playing the West like a fiddle.
What's that?
He's saying that everyone takes a line, Zelensky loves it.
It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. But the young ones being, you know, if they haven't got parental input, I'm sure all of us here speak to our children, making them aware, etc. But there's so many that are out there thinking it's the norm and they're surrounded by it, and that's a normal way of life, you know.
If they've grew up with it, it is, isn't it?
Hi, Mary Beth.
Frugal, a very rural area.
Yeah. Oh, something's just blown.
Yeah.
Hope it's not one of the slates off the ceiling. We don't need that when the rain's coming, do we? It's been raining an awful lot here for the past week. It just doesn't seem to have stopped, does it?
And they forecast snow for the next few days from tomorrow, so it should be fun.
It gets slightly warmer once it's snowing, though, doesn't it?
Insulates.
Yeah.
I have to take our gloves off for the snowball fights.
You can. I'll watch from the window. So what else has been going on, guys? What did you think about my no spend 2023 rather than just the no spend January? Because I think that's something we really have to concentrate. You know, if there's a major buy, then obviously you have to do that to make sure that you get through for the year and save as much as you can. But how many of us are going to be planning holidays or, you know, lots of nights out or etc., you know, big treats when we're preempting such a crash here coming in spring?
I mean, a lot of people are still going on holiday and just not caring and thinking it's not going to happen. So.
I know, but that's credit card money a lot of the time, isn't it? And that's debt, isn't it? It's not real money. It's not what they've already got in hand. So they're not caring how much debt they're accruing.
As long as they can service it every month. That's
not a position anyone can afford to be in.
But it's when you can't service it every month and then you realise how much debt
if the interest goes up, how much are they paying for that debt? Exactly, Kate, and that's generally how we do it month to month. You know, if it's a necessity, it's a spend if we happen to have the money for that necessity, but otherwise it's generally a no spend other than the basics. As long as we've got food, as long as we've got electricity, some heating, even if we have to space it out. We've got diesel in the van, so Mr. Wallflowers can get to work, etc. We're fine. You know, as I say, we can play a game. We can play a game of cards. We do have the solar lamps. We've never gone without electricity, have we? Yes. So we've never had to depend on anything like that. We've had to space the heating out, obviously, and decide when and if to use it. But we do have the hot water bottles, the blankies, warm clothing. We've never gone without anything ever.
As soon as it's too cold, we will put the heating on. But if it's only just chilly, we'll put hot water bottle or a cover over us,
or we'll leave the door open because we're cooking and the heat will come from the kitchen, etc. So we'll balance out and use some form or other. But so far we've been lucky. We are food rich because we prep for so long. So we'd never go without food. Hopefully, don't speak too soon. But we've never gone without electricity, have we? We've never gone without any resources that we need, because we learn how to space it and to pinch it out, and we're good at it, and it doesn't make us miserable. It's like a challenge, isn't it?
That's it, Annette. Our big treat is bargain hunting.
Yeah. The big treat for us to go last week to the thrift shop, I'm calling it now. You got me talking the way you guys talk, to the charity shop. Was great because it was a day out, which was nice because I don't personally get out an awful lot other than going shopping. So it was a day out. I got to see a bit of the town of Ormskirk and in and out the shops, etc. And I got what I was looking for. So it was a really big treat. And what did we spend? £7.50. Yeah, it was fabulous.
And we were happy with everything.
Hi, Ellen. Lovely to see you. You've missed your shout out again. Oh, BCTV of a different videographer with opinions. I did leave a comment on your channel.
Yeah, we watched a couple of your
we found her channel. It'd be great to have some more subscribers for her. How you get round in that wheelchair and how you maneuver and work around all the places you travel is absolutely fantastic. Full respect for you, BCTV.
You don't realise how hard it is for people in wheelchairs.
But it's hard enough for me to walk up a hill.
People with prams just to get round the paths.
Oh, thank you, Love Gaming Kids and Learning. That's fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All these donations will be going to me canner, so I might have it sooner than I think.
It's our little vacation.
That's exactly how we treat it. Well, I do personally. It's a day out, and anywhere, a drive in the van, I can see the countryside, I can see the farmer's land, I can see the town once we get into it, and it's lovely.
You don't need to spend money just to have a good time.
Even more than I look at the old houses, but I look at the sky an awful lot and the formation of the clouds and everything else. Yeah, I'm in Mary Ann's own little world, but for me to watch the sky and the cloud formation whilst we're travelling is absolutely amazing for me, and then I stop and look at the old aged buildings.
The buildings, we'll go to an old town and just look at the buildings, and we buzz off that.
We like the history of houses, don't we? Yeah. That's a good point that, Ellen, you've made there. Ellen's saying, sorry, she only just got the notice. I'm not sure if everybody's notifications are working, whether it be for the live streams or it be for the videos. Now, in the last one, I asked people whether they could unsubscribe and then resubscribe. I wonder if it'd be worthwhile everyone taking the notifications off and re-putting them on again, because I think a lot of people are not receiving notifications, or at least not straight away, and it's worth having a little mess around with. Wow, Laureen, that's absolutely fabulous. Towards your kind of blessings to you. I was blessed with a little extra money, so I won. Oh, thank you so much, sweetheart. That's absolutely
and thank you,
unbelievable.
BCTV, for giving us a shout out as well.
Wow, that's lovely.
Hope you get a few more
Thank
subs
you
as
so
well.
much. What was
On their channel. Community, looking after each other, because no one else will.
We do feel so blessed, you know. It's an honour. It absolutely is. Thank you so much for everyone that helps us.
It's a day out for us is like going up to the lake, as Frugal Queen just said, and just watching the geese, having a butty in the car or in the van.
We'll actually do a video on quite a local one, Frugal Queen, once we have the warmer weather. We have a double lake, absolutely huge, both of them are. There's frequently fishermen parked around it, and in the car park opposite there'll be an ice cream van, but there's also a bird watching section, isn't it? What do you actually call it?
Like wildlife,
like a nature reserve bird section, and it's kind of like closed off, and you can see through a fence in the gaps, and you can sit on like a little bench, or you can stand up and look completely over.
We're breaking up.
And there's so many different birds that we can see there. It's beautiful. You actually see the squirrels up and down. You see the rats, obviously, in and out the water. We've seen a beaver there a couple of times as well, which is quite unusual for us to have beavers too quite often. We used to always take the boys there when they were younger, but the double lake is a popular day out for us. We go there quite often. There used to be a park to one side of it as well. It's a lovely big area. I'll do a video on it in the summer when it's nice and warm. Oh, the Blue Ridge Mountains, Virginia. Yes, Ellen, that sounds absolutely fabulous. And is that Virginia? Is that what the Blue Ridge, Virginia? And we do that. We don't get yard sales. We go to car boot sales or tabletop sales. We like to do that a lot as well. Mr. Wallflowers is telling me we're breaking up. I'm awfully sorry, and I don't know what it's to do with. We have everything switched off, so I'm not sure what's creating that. Yeah, the birds here are wonderful, and we have quite a lot that come into the garden on a regular basis, all the different tits, magpies, crows, I don't know all of the names. I'm not upon the names of all the birds, but we have a good fair amount of birds come into the garden. Oh, I'm so sorry. A lot of people are saying how choppy it is, and I don't understand why.
Just bring the router closer.
Thanks, Granny, for we can to make that work better. Thumbs up if everything's okay with you guys. Can everybody let me know how it's coming through? We're in the UK. Oh, that sounds lovely, Chaz. Chaz says he's got a bluebird sleeping overnight in a bird box in the back garden. It's fabulous. Yeah, that's the only thing when you take to feeding the birds, and they depend upon it then, don't they, and keep coming back. I found it quite strange. The birds wouldn't touch the sunflower seeds. I placed the heads out, trying to let them dry a little before I brought them in, and not one bird touched any of the sunflower seeds in the heads, so I didn't. I thought if they don't want them, neither do I. I thought it might be a certain genus that wasn't too healthy within the sunflower seeds. So I thought if they don't like it, I don't like it. Right. I don't know how to amend that, Mary Miles. I'm so sorry. She's saying the sound is good. The picture is slightly blurry.
Everything off. There's nothing else connected to the internet.
Thanks, Jane. Thanks tonight. Rachel saying it's choppy in Canada too.
Whether it's the weather and the wind. Turned everything, come around, turning everything off.
Mr. Wallflowers is running around like a headless chicken trying to see if there's anything else he can turn off. I think that's everything covered. I don't think we have anything else to turn off, do we?
Everything's off and the router's right next to the laptop, so...
Yeah. He's just made me a lovely cup of coffee, which is nice. Yeah. So those in the UK that are here, have you all filled out the form for the identity? I must admit, I haven't filled mine out yet. I know a few local people have. I'm pondering over how to structure the words on mine.
Yeah, it's quite windy here outside now.
That could be what's affecting it. The winds are really strong.
It affects the telly signal sometimes.
Yeah. Not that we watch it much, but you do like to watch your football on it, don't you?
You'd have to go online to the government website and fill it in on there.
It's on dove.com, gov.com. I'm sorry, Lorraine. We've switched everything off that we can manage, and we're thinking it's the strong winds at the moment affecting everything.
Try going out and coming back in again. I don't know whether that'll help.
Are you in the UK, Decluttering Queen? I thought you were in the US.
No, they wouldn't like our views if we was in either.
Rich and Clovia, how would you pay for tabletop sales, babysitters, etc. in the UK? Would you pay?
Pocket money for the kids.
Yeah. I suppose the only way you could do it at the moment is like PayPal or Monzo accounts or those types of things.
Maybe when it comes in, it'll be
relate to it. They're supposed to be bringing in the digital wallet, aren't they?
Yeah.
So everyone will have the digital wallet. That'll how you do transactions between yourselves. So it'll be like a PayPal format, but called a digital wallet.
It depends what seeds they are, Bonnie.
What was that?
Are there any restrictions on seeds being sent through the post? If it's veg and stuff, flowers, it should be okay.
Yeah. But of course, people are told to be extra careful. I mean, the words of people worrying about seeds from China, seeds from different countries, being laced with poison, etc. So I'm not aware of any actual, so long as it's illegal, it's legal. I'm not aware, not drugs or anything like that is what I'm implying.
Yeah, no.
But I'm not aware of
Any
not being able to send seeds through the post or anything like that.
Hi, Katie. You grew up in Sunderland. Your man struggled for food and clothing.
You do. What do people say? They live to their
means.
You live to your means. So, if you've got nothing, you learn how to cope with nothing on a very minimal budget. People with extravagant finances will still live right up to their budget, and not
the more you have,
reserve.
the more you buy.
People live to the means. You do.
The less you have, the less you buy. And
we had nothing in the 70s and early 80s, My dad was too old to be employed was the term that was used at the time, and he found himself unemployed, and I had to have government school grants uniform, you know, and we had next to nothing, but we coped and we were happy because we didn't know any different because we were children. It was different for the adults because they knew different, but for us, we ran out and played. We went to school and loved it, you know. You just got on with it.
You spent £200 on seeds.
Wow, that's an awful lot of money for seeds.
Yeah, that is weird because they are messing with the seeds as well. It's all GMO, and Bill Gates is bringing his own seeds in and messing with them. And
if you can save seeds from your own garden and your own plants and you keep them for the following year, that's the best way you can do it, because you know it's a good genus then that you've got, don't you?
I mean, there is supposed to be a seed bank of all the seeds in the world that is in Antarctica.
Well, they've put them in a couple of places. Yeah. India were first known for it, weren't they? And then they've got a base in Antarctica where they've stored it. I don't know where the third one is. Every seed in the world, and it's the original genus from that. But yeah,
in case something happens.
That's it.
There's a lot of weird things in Antarctica, though. Seem to store a lot of things there, but we'll never find out, will we?
Well, in 2016, they were supposed to, from under Mecca, they were supposed to have dug up the Ark of Gabriel. And I don't know if it was 400 or 4,000 people died due to the impact and the implosion when it was nuclear.
They were starting to build an extension in Mecca, and as they started digging down, they found this Ark of Gabriel, what they thought, but they found a package or some kind of trunk, and as soon as they moved it, this lightning strike hit it and killed 4,000 people.
Like a nuclear explosion kind of thing.
So they stopped for a couple of months, and then they tried to excavate it again, and then something else happened, an explosion, and killed a few hundred people. A couple of weeks later, they managed to get it out, and President Putin went over, and Saudi gave it to him, and he took it straight to the Antarctic, and they had a big ceremony with the Orthodox Church in the Antarctic, and they took it to the Antarctic and put it in storage over there.
But the Pope was supposed to be in attendance as well. Yeah. There was the Orthodox Russian Pope, and there was the Vatican Pope, and representatives, Putin and some other representatives of the world, and they did some kind of service over there.
Big ceremony.
And took the Ark of Gabriel to the Antarctic. This sounds like conspiracy talk, but you can Google it, you can research it, and it's factual. This actually happened in 2016. And they discovered it under exactly Frugal Queen. A lot of us had next to nothing in the 70s, and it was because of the depression, the vast unemployment and everything else.
But we didn't know any difference, and we enjoyed our upbringing. And
we did. The free school meals were fabulous. Yeah, I remember not liking a tea time meal when I got home. Being an only child and a little bit spoiled, and I didn't want what mum and dad were having. I don't know, I can't even remember what it was. And I said, "Oh, do I have?" And my dad turned around and he said to me, "You've had a cook meal today at school. You don't need another meal. If you don't like it, don't eat it." And that'd be the way, wouldn't it? You know, you've had a hot meal today. You've been looked after.
You go in and it'd be semolina or something.
I like semolina and a nice big blob of jam in it. I loved all of that. I didn't like tapioca.
I didn't like the tapioca.
Didn't like the look of it. Rice pudding and semolina is beautiful. Well, I do semolina now, don't I, for me? I bought a big sack of semolina, basically the same as the big sacks of instant mashed potatoes you can get. And you can use semolina in bacon and cream and different things, but I like a bowl of it.
You loved your school dinners?
I did.
No, I didn't.
Absolutely loved them. Steak pudding and chips.
I like the chocolate pudding and the mint custard.
Yeah, that was a
was the
big
best.
novelty at our school, wasn't it? We went to the same school. Mr. Wallflowers was in the year above me, and we never knew each other at school, and we only met later in life. Yeah.
Dried semolina before roasting your potatoes.
I've seen that done. It looks lovely. Yeah.
When I do the roast potatoes, I mix it with mayonnaise, coat them in mayonnaise, and then put them in the oven.
Or you put the breadcrumbs on as well sometimes, don't you?
Sometimes, yeah, but I coat it in mayonnaise and it goes a lot crunchier. Hated school dinners, had no choice. I used to take a packed lunch or go home for my dinner.
Well, you were spoiled though. You were lucky. You had choices.
Yeah, my packed lunch was only jam butties. Or...
No, but that was your taste. That was what you enjoyed, wasn't it? Hi, Stefanos, all the way from Greece. He's done the devil horns. Heard there are giants and chains and caves.
It wouldn't surprise us.
Yeah, we go down the conspiracy route here, but you know, in the Bible, there was giants in those days, and there still are. So it's not that much of a conspiracy, is it really? When we look at it from that concept. But yes, Alan, you're completely right.
Yeah, Mother Wolf, that was a big thing. Selling your dinner tickets and.
See, that would have been something you would have done, not me. I was a good girl. Thank you, Tessie. Yeah. We looked at quite a lot of the giant stuff, Ellen, and there was the tale about the giant in Afghanistan in the caves when the soldiers went there, and it was a red-haired giant, and it was somewhat similar to who's the one who injured him in the heel, injured the giant in Achilles' heel. It was that kind of format of a story. But you have soldiers to this day saying that is a true story, that this titan more than a giant, was actually in Afghanistan in what?
About 91, something like that.
About 1991. So, you know, they were in them days and still are today. The Bible tells us, you know, whether you choose to believe or not to believe, it is a big thing, you know. So semolina, Prepper Patty, is a midway between, so you've got tapioca, which is the bigger ball. You've got rice pudding, which is slightly smaller, and semolina is even smaller again. And it's kind of like the same theme.
Isn't it?
Yeah, you either love it or hate it, you know. I quite like it.
You know, you can put batter. You can dip battered fish in semolina. It makes it better. The batter.
Yeah, Devon and Steve, in my school, we had quite a few of the lads that preferred to do cookery instead of the woodwork or whatever.
I used to enjoy the cookery lessons in school.
Yeah, it was quite even. And even if you look at the chefs and, you know, the cooks today, the majority of them are men. You know, us women liked bulk of us, not cooking. Everybody.
Cooking's amazing.
But yeah, there's quite a lot of cooks that are male.
And that's right, Mother Wolf, all myths are rooted in truth.
Well, that's where they come from, and if you look into the words and the historic value into our children's nursery rhymes, none of them are pleasant, are they?
No.
You know, and the historical content within them is quite graphic, really. Yeah. And that's it. They're all rooted in truth, aren't they?
You're eating grass if you can't get out of meds.
I'm sure if you go out and you're eating from the wild, there's going to be something much more tastier than grass. Because the cows have to have 4 stomachs to actually ruminate and be able to process the grass through their system.
Oh, I've never had milk jelly. PCTV saying I love milk jelly.
I'm not sure if it's like polenta because I've never seen polenta in its dried format. When I see it here in the food initiatives, I see it in a block. Normally see it in a large yellow block. So I've never actually seen it in a dried format. So I'm not sure on that, Taness. Emmy's saying all the cooks in her family are males on her dad's side because the surname is Cook. She got us with wordplay there. Yeah. We've got a saying, don't bang your bum on the door on the way out, Emmy. I was polite then. Well, that was a theory I looked at, Ellen, again. It's an interesting topic about the giants because when we go right back, we try and discover if they were the first or one of the first, because they reckon there's been several types of humanoids on Earth within its age. Now, if at one point there were titans and giants, they did have 6 fingers and toes and 2 sets of teeth. If this is, I mean, because we can only believe what we've been passed down and what we've been told. So his story is his story. So we don't know 100% if everything's true. But I pondered on it and I thought about time and I thought about clocks and how we register time. And I thought about the 6 fingers and the 6 toes and the 12 hours and how we work out a clock.
12 months.
12 months of the year. I know a lot of it is astrological and to do with that side of things and following the sky. But I thought if you had 6 fingers and 6 toes on either hand, that's 12. And that's working out time, whether it's relating to the sky and the astrological side. If you were counting it on your fingers, you had the 12 hours then. And then
it is interesting again. Once you start digging deep.
I was relating it to the fingers and toes of the giants. I hope that makes sense in some kind of way.
So Emmy went from a cook to a tailor. At least it's still practical. You still mend the clothes, cook the food, mend the clothes.
Make an apron. See, we can entertain ourselves just with our mind thought and researching and asking questions and pondering.
Our government is pagan. Down the street has a sun window on the Teledor.
There are some people still born with 6 fingers, Granny. Relation to my dad, a couple of generations back, had an extra finger, and it was quite big. It wasn't just a stub, and he'd had it removed, and at some point it came back as a stub, and that was in their genes. Yeah, it never happened again.
And that's right, Alan. It's supposed to be the offspring of the fallen angels mating with humans. Makes more sense.
But it's just so interesting. As I say, I follow a gentleman. He's from Liverpool. His name's Kev, and he has a channel called Enlightened Turtle, Ellen. And I think you might find him interesting because he covers these kind of topics, but he also covers
hidden
history and things we don't talk about, books by Jeremy of Monmouth, and people like that. And he's such an interesting guy, and he has a new theme of videos out at the moment, and I think you might find him really interesting, Ellen, isn't it? His channel's called Enlightened Turtle. Alternative history was the word I was looking for.
Emmy was born with 2 middle fingers on her left hand webbed together.
Oh, right. That's amazing, isn't it? And what did you have them? Did you have them separated, Emmy, or did you function with it like that? Yeah, no, it's really interesting. Yeah, I was born with 2 earlobes on one ear and had them surgically removed when I was 16. I had to wait till I was 16. I just had 1 extra earlobe at the top.
That's a great point, Jan. 2 sets of teeth. They'd be knackered for the dentist. Can't even get 1 set of teeth sorted.
I know, but it makes you think, fee, fi, fo, fum, I'd grind the bones of an Englishman. You got 2 strong sets of teeth and a big massive jaw. You'd have no issue biting a bone, would you?
Watched a good video about Nazareth in Wales. Yeah.
There's
a lot of things happening.
Case, have you heard of Wilson and Blackett? That relates to the Nazareth in Wales, and it's really interesting history. Wilson and Blackett, yeah. Well, Enlightened Turtle actually covers a lot of Wilson and Blackett's work. Enlightened Turtle, Ellen.
You still are BCTV.
You're good enough for us, love.
Would you have bought extra earrings?
Well, coming from...
Should have had more chains hanging off them.
Because I actually had that, I wasn't able to have my ears pierced. And with my dad being Irish, he wanted me to have my ears pierced as a young girl. And until I was 16, I had to wait to have my ears pierced, which was quite disappointing for my dad more than me, because he really wanted me to have gold loops in my ears. So the answer to that's no.
Oh, Kate's been down the rabbit hole.
Oh, what you saying?
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
There's so much, and it's so intriguing, so intriguing. Whether
it's a lot more interesting than the history, what they tell us happened.
And it's a lot more interesting than any nonsense they could show you on a program on TV. A lot more interesting, because you can actually go out in the real world and research stuff.
We look at the alternative, and we look at what we've been taught, and we'll think, well, that makes more sense. Whatever makes more sense, we'll go with.
Like electricity coming from the ether.
There is free electricity out there. We get lightning. And
they hit lightning rods, and they create an impact, and it's all natural. There's so many natural things that we're unable to access because we don't know. We just don't. We can't remember, and remembering is the big thing. It's remembering how to be natural, remembering what our body needs for sustenance, what our spiritual and our mind needs for sustenance to keep us going. And then beyond that is how we deal with the natural world. And there's so many things that we're so far detached from that it ruins us as humans, doesn't it? Because we become enslaved, because we're dependent.
Cars running on water.
Yeah, there's so
free
much.
energy. Free energy is out there, but they don't want us to have it. And we do live in an electromagnetic world.
That's completely true. Plasma.
Yeah, we've watched Siren Finder. We follow him. He does some good live streams. And even Martin Leitke. He does some good stuff.
Exactly right, Heather. If it wasn't for watching people like Tessie herself, I don't think I'd have ever done videos and been here myself either.
Thanks,
we've
Tessie.
Absolutely loved Tessie and learned so much, and to be friends now and to continue that, for as long as we possibly can is absolutely amazing. Yeah, fabulous community.
Bye, Lauren.
You having to go, Lauren? Okay, we'll speak to you soon, lovey. Thank you so much for coming.
Don't forget your umbrella.
Are you going as well, Julie? Okay, love.
We're sending everyone to sleep now.
Thanks for coming, Julie, and we'll speak to you soon, love. Thank you. Yeah, well, She does make it look so easy because she does it with ease, and that builds you with confidence then enough to at least have a try and see if you can do it.
She's just so relaxed and
yeah, it just looks so
laid back.
easy. And I like that she doesn't try to hide anything. And if you make a mistake, which is what I do, if you make a mistake, you just own up that you've made a mistake and you just carry on from there. If something doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and that's life, and keeping it honest. And she gives so much of herself, her thoughts and her feelings and her memories, and it's just beautiful. She's
we've got
a whole person. It's lovely.
We've got a late comer.
Oh, no.
Anne, where have you been? Come on.
Have you got a letter from your mum? It does.
Wasn't you late last week?
But to understand how much work goes into that for her to do as well, she earns full respect with that from me.
Got to go and feed 40 hungry chickens.
Wow. Who's that?
Kate.
Okay, Kate, see you in a bit, love.
You've been to Tesco's. Tesco's more interesting than us.
Can we be cheeky and ask how much it costs? One lady was telling me her shopping earlier, Rachel, I think it was, used to be $33 for the bag full, and it's costing $92 so many cents today, which is, nearly triple the amount. I'm not being rude asking, Anne, it's just curious about prices.
Well, we know it's not going to be cheap anyway.
That's it, Tessie, and keeping it natural and keeping it true is the best way. There's no need to have airs and graces for other channels. There's no need to fake it and pretend everything's perfect, because we are real people. It's much appreciated, and that's why we love you.
It's better to be natural, isn't it?
Yeah.
Than fake.
We're all going to have accidents and mistakes, and we all need to just keep it real, because that is life.
I think they are everywhere, Frugal Queen.
So what would be a comparison to your prices then, Frugal Queen, what you notice? I mean, has there been a sudden hike as in here, or were they naturally high to begin with when you got there? I don't know what WIC is, Emmy. I'm lucky I get WIC and they give me a good amount of fresh fruit and vegetables and milk and bread. That's lovely. I don't know what WIC is, though. Could you explain that, please, Emmy?
I mean, we get free milk and free bread and vegetables.
Oh, we don't get free milk.
Not milk.
Bread,
vegetables.
Free bread and vegetables. No, well, we pay for our vegetables. I pay £1 for five lots.
We can get them free as well from the other place. I'm taking more. You have more.
Occasionally, but even so, you have to buy them there.
Yeah.
So I'm saying £134.57 with £22 savings costs. So it's 112. Now, would that be a weekly shop? Pronounced Wick. Oh, I see. I don't know what Wick is, though.
Even a small shop that would have cost £20.
It's a programme for pregnant women and women with young children. All right, and that's free for you. Oh, well, that's brilliant to have that available.
€100 a week.
£53.56 PCTV is paid. Now, is that just a week's shop, though, for that price? Would have cost £20 last year. See, now to do that 4 times a month.
We are lucky that we can shop in the initiative.
I know, so lucky. Don't know what we'd do. Well, that sounds great. Yeah, so it's a monthly amount of food and it gets you through. That sounds fabulous. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you're selling your eggs, you do have to put the price up to cover the feed and everything. And do you find that your local people are still buying them at that price?
It just makes you wonder how much it's going to go up, and now they're just trying to price everyone out the market to buy food.
Yeah, it's just bizarre, isn't it?
And then you wonder how restaurants are going to stay open, hotels, and everything's going to come crashing down soon.
But that's what I was trying to say today, if we can't carry on at those prices, replenishing the stock that we've stored in the pantry, and then we have to start eating it all, and we work our way through, say, about 6 months of that, it's gone. And then we come to another tough winter again, and we still can't afford to replenish that food. Then we're stuck at the winter time, and that's when it becomes a major problem then, because we haven't got the stock to fall back on, and we haven't got that enough finances to go out and buy what we need, because obviously we need more food in the winter and more fuel, because it's got to be hot food. It's crazy. Oh, well, that's fabulous. So long as your customers are still prepared to buy them, then you'll be okay. Yeah.
We use a lot of eggs.
Yeah, we love our eggs, don't we?
I mean, eggs aren't too dear at the minute.
I know, but we're not buying organic eggs. We're not buying free-range eggs. We're literally buying shop-bought eggs, aren't we? So there's a major difference between what people are talking about. She's selling eggs for £4, but I should imagine the free-range eggs.
I know, but people get sucked into buying free-range eggs from supermarkets. And the free-range eggs, they only have to be let out of the pen for like 20 minutes of a day. So they get let out 20 minutes, half an hour in the day, and it can be called free range, and then back in the pen. But people will pay double the price in a supermarket to go and buy free range eggs. $2.69 for 10 eggs. I mean, if you're in the UK, you can get 15 eggs from Farm Foods for £1.75. That's where we normally get them.
But
if we don't get them from the initiative.
Hens, they're shop-bought eggs. Oh, do tell. What's your name, Peerless? I do like to know people's first names. I quite enjoy being able to relate and call people by the first names.
You've got tags on the baby milk over there.
Yeah, in case it gets stolen from the shops. It's crazy. If a mother has to steal baby milk, then she needs it. Yeah, she needs it. She's not selling that for, she's not stealing that for nothing, is she?
That's what we were saying. We were going to supply to the food bank next was baby milks and nappies and wipes.
That'll be our first donation. So in one of the local food initiatives, they have, they're looking to set up meetings with a local company. So whereas our parents and them before them all use teddy nappies and reusable nappies, there are new concepts of nappies now, and they're still reusable. So one of the ladies at the food initiative is setting up a meeting with one of the companies to see if we can get them at a discounted price and to publicise them. And I've asked her, can I be involved and sit in on those meetings, because people at the food banks and people in the local community, that maybe I could help.
The cloth ones.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic thing, and I'm looking forward to being involved with that, and especially if we can get people who are needy and do have babies in nappies at this moment of time, or having children, we can educate them how to use them and how to get them, and they're priced so they're available to them. I think it's a lovely project to be involved. At what cost, though? You
I
know.
don't remember. At least they're doing them.
But it's educating the parents of how to keep. I mean, I remember being young, and I remember my grandma looking after quite a few of us. I was a little bit older, and she'd have the nappy bucket with cold water, and the dirt would rise to the top when she soaked them in the cold water. But she would have a system of how to move the nappies along, and then they went in, whether it was the twin tub or whether it was, and then went out and were hung on the line, and they were sparkling white. But Nan had a routine how to do it. Now I don't know I never used terry nappies or anything with my two.
Just wasn't a thing when
we were. I won't say we were daft, but I think we had more money than sense in those days.
No,
We
this just
hadn't
wasn't a
worked it
thing.
out.
Disposables.
We
took
did
over.
use Pampers, and we bought them by the box full each time. You know, not saying it was good or bad, but that's what we chose to do at the time. But if it was nowadays, I think I'd be looking at.
That's a good idea. And I mean,
reusable.
do videos about being frugal with a baby, and
Yeah. And there's so much waste, you know. Some parents want a brand new pram, and they want a brand new this, and every item of clothing to be
that's
brand
the best
new.
advice. Buy
But there's
second
so
hand
much
for
that's
everything.
barely used for first stage babies.
People buy
especially.
brand new cots, brand new prams, and they're in them for like 2-3 months, and then they've grown out of them, and they're still brand new. Just buy second hand for everything you can.
Yeah.
You save a fortune.
As much as possible, and the quality.
Even the clothes, the baby grows.
You can wash everything, can't you? Yeah. Designer gear that they spend an absolute fortune on, and beautiful cutesy outfits.
Babies and little kids are only in the clothes for a couple of months. It's not like they're running around, running in the dirt every day.
And we know personally, if it's a family member and they're having a baby, we never buy them first stage clothing, do we? We always buy the bigger sizes, because the baby's never in the first stage clothing that long at all anyway, is it? You're lucky if they fit them a week or two.
A few weeks. You'd be surprised how quick they grow. In 20 years' time, you look back and think, where's them 20 years gone? I remember when they were just a baby.
Yeah. Blink of the eye. You can. Nearly everything. You can just completely sanitize everything. You're right, Ellen. We bought a lot of stuff secondhand even then, didn't we? But with me being an only child, my mum always wanted to buy the prams, and she wanted to always buy everything new, and she did.
Secondhand. Did we buy the Moses basket secondhand?
We did. Yeah. I think we bought the mattress, didn't we?
We bought the chair, the carry chair.
Yeah.
The Creative Reuse Centre. Grandkids grow even faster.
Yeah.
We haven't got grandkids.
Not yet. Our time will come. One day. Hope we're not too old to deal with them by the time ours come.
Are you in Lancaster, Emmy? Yeah, them rubbers that used to go over the
and the elastic around the inside of they were horrible. And they stained to buggery, didn't they? You couldn't wash them out properly.
Oh, Tessie lives in Lancaster, but I'm talking about Lancaster, UK. Oh, you live... we've got a Lancaster in the UK. It's only an hour away from us. She watched the Dandelion Honey video.
Who did?
Dirt Road Destiny.
Hi, Destiny. Yeah, as I say, that was done in 4 parts.
That was our very first one.
So, well, look, we will make a brand new one in spring when the dandelions will come out. We'll make an updated version of it, but if you get a chance, do make some because it's delicious. I saw you pick your wild chives this week as well.
And there's a lot of American places that have got English names.
Quite a lot.
British names.
Well, there's Birmingham, isn't there? There's Liverpool, there's Manchester.
Yeah.
There's quite a few. It's lovely, Granny Frammy.
Colonial English.
She lived in Donegal. Donegal's island here.
What about you?
What about you?
I'm from the Netherlands. Is that what you thought we were Dutch?
Well, she said that's why she could understand us because she could understand people from the Netherlands.
It's mad how many different places.
Thank you, Granny Frammy. That's nice to know. Rena. That's a lovely name, though.
There's a lot of the same place names in different places. Yeah, Australia's got a lot of English places.
Hi, Seth.
No British.
There's a Glasgow in Kentucky.
Oh, is it?
It's surprising how the names are reused and reused.
Perth in Australia.
Yeah. So strange. It's like the landmark names for a purpose. It's like there's a connection. Yeah, it's great though. I love the way you all talk between yourselves and you've all got your own friendships between yourselves as well. That's fabulous. Hi, Johnny. Hi, Linda H. Dear founder Deb, yeah. Well, we've reached 73 tonight, so I don't know if that's more or less than last time. I think it's a few more. What's on the menu for tomorrow? Well, we haven't decided yet, but we finished the last of the fish pie yesterday. And today we just had the beef pasties, each with a side salad. So I'm going to ask Mr. Wallflowers, will he do his corned beef hash pie, which will be really nice. So I really enjoy his pastry, and we'll have some onion gravy with it over the top. So it depends on what happens tomorrow. It's Sunday, so we should have enough time, but that'll be really nice if he can make that. So that could be tomorrow's video. Corned beef is so yummy, yeah. Well, we won't actually be grinding actual beef like some of you may. We would actually use what we call a tin of corned beef. So we buy it in a can. So I basically scrape the fat off the outside and then chop it up, and then he'll add that to mashed potato, and we'll put some flavourings in there, and he'll make the pastry, but it's absolutely delicious. I know what you call corned beef, ground beef, I believe. Am I right there?
No, it's corned beef.
I think it's a different type of corned beef.
No, corned beef was from Argentina.
Yeah, it's quite expensive here if I didn't get it at the Food Initiative, Rena, as well. Yeah.
Fray Bentos corned beef was from Argentina.
It's from Argentina? But it is expensive here to buy in the shops as well now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is now, yeah.
How much would you say? It's over £2 now, isn't it?
I mean, going back to farm food, you can get it for $1.70. I think that's the cheapest.
Sometimes, occasionally, Rich and Clovia, we can barter in different places. I can't in the food initiatives because they're so highly discounted, and you can't in the supermarkets. But if I go to different stores, you're probably familiar with what a B&Q store is for household products, flooring, etc. I have bartered in there. I have bartered, obviously, in markets and different places like that. But you can't barter in the food initiatives or the supermarkets at all.
The Clutter and Queen, I think it's 170 or 180 in farm foods for a big tin. Yeah, corned beef comes from Argentina. I think they invented it.
Did they? It's lovely though. We like it, don't we? Sometimes we'll have a slice of the corned beef pie and we'll just have beetroot on the sides.
Thanks, Rachel. Good night.
Good night, Rachel. Thank you so much for the super thanks. That's fabulous of you, and will obviously go towards the canner. Thank you. Have a nice evening. Sometimes we'll just have it with like an onion gravy, or sometimes we'll just have beans and tomato sauce as a side.
Or put it in pastry. You know,
well, that's what I'm saying. This is when you make the pie. Yeah. I said you might be making the pie tomorrow for tomorrow's video.
Well, someone said you still experiencing blackouts, but we haven't experienced any blackouts
in our home.
It was threatened.
But what happened was one of our sons, although he lives in the next town, he works not far from where we live, and the industrial estate actually had a blackout
2 days ago.
2 days ago, and they were sent home from work because the blackout affected the whole of the units in that section. So they are progressing, and there are warnings now, aren't they? What was the warning you read?
They are saying that it's happening more and more, but it's happening through the weather, not through design. But they said as soon as the weather goes really cold, that's when the blackouts will start to happen. But because we haven't had a really cold winter so far, we've had the 2 weeks where it was really cold, and that's when they were starting to threaten. And then it got milder, so they've backed off now. But they're saying snow's coming this week, so whether it gets any colder and they start coming out with the threats again.
The instilled programme of the blackouts from the government are going to be when we get the extreme weather. Yeah, but there can be natural weather that blocks out.
What's your idea of a real English breakfast? Everything.
Yeah, so for me, it would be 2 sausage, 2 bacon, fried egg, some grilled tomatoes,
hash brown,
a hash brown,
mushrooms.
Well, you'd have the mushrooms, wouldn't you? I'd like a few beans.
Yeah, beans and toast or fried bread.
No, I'd have the toast, but not the fried bread, and I like the black pudding. Yeah.
That'd be the ultimate English breakfast.
What about you, Emmy? What would you call an English breakfast?
Yeah, corned beef sandwiches. Yeah.
With real butter, though.
Yeah, we've been lucky with the weather since we've had that cold snap a couple of weeks ago, where we had 2 weeks of freezing. It's gone really mild.
We can't wait to get out, Destiny, into the garden. Yeah, as creative as possible. We call it our recycled garden. So nearly everything that goes into it, we've either got completely free or we've bought it at rock bottom budget price and new to us, but pre-loved. You know, everything is a recycled project that we put into the garden, obviously except the seeds and the plants sometimes, but even then some of those aren't they? But yeah,
Linda, you don't want to know what black pudding is. It's just lovely. You don't want to know what's in it.
It is nice though, and you can either fry it or grill it or bake it in the oven.
Yeah, beans on toast. And black pudding is pig's blood
and eyes and all the waste. Yeah,
all mashed together.
Basically a sausage plus all the blood. Yeah.
But don't let that put you off, because it's lovely. Once you fry it, it's amazing.
You can get black pudding and white pudding. Yeah. Okay, I'll pass. You know, we'd say that just on being told what the ingredients are, but it is quite delicious.
If you had a blindfold on and you put it in your mouth, you'd go, "Oh, that's nice." Then.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of Americans just say ham and eggs, don't they? Think that's our breakfast. But
Yeah,
a
corned
bit
beef's
more
good to
to
put
it.
in a stew. If you've put in a stew and you've got no meat, put a tin of corned beef in and just melts into it, makes it thick.
Locally in this region, because we're so close to Liverpool, we're smack bang in the middle. So we're very close to Manchester, which is a big area, and we're very close to Liverpool, which is a big area. So if we choose to go to the Liverpool direction, which our accents sound like, the most popular dish that they're known for is a dish called scouse. Now, scouse is primarily a stew, a beef stew,
Hi,
with
pink preppy queen.
carrot, potatoes, and onions, and beef, and that's it, really. You know, and it's called a pan of scouse, and it's the most prolific known Liverpudlian meal is a pan of scouse. Now, if you go the opposite direction to the Manchester Wigan area, they make near enough the same meal, but they don't use the beef; they use the tin of corned beef, and they call their meal lobbies. And the only difference is it's not
blind
real.
scouse.
No blind scouse, there's no meat
Yeah,
at all, it's just the vegetables. But lobbies with a tin of corned beef and a pan of scouse with proper beef.
Oh, welcome, Anne.
Welcome, Anne. Thank you for becoming a level 1 member on our members teams.
Yeah, we love sauerkraut.
Yeah, we really enjoy sauerkraut, don't we?
We have made our own.
We've made it ourselves a couple of times. By a large fat
German
jar
or
of it.
Polish sauerkraut.
We love it mixed in with lettuce and different things in a salad. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, we do enjoy a sauerkraut.
How about steak and kidney pie or kippers? I wouldn't eat the steak and kippers. Yeah. I don't like kippers, even though I deliver fish.
No, I like
the sardines and
rice meal, and he enjoys that.
Kippers are too strong. They're too strongy fish.
Now, actually be boiled in a bag, kippers, and he'd like them with boiled potatoes and some peas. And I quite enjoy that kind of thing as well. Yeah, absolutely delicious.
The fish pie was lovely. And a few people in America were saying they'd never ever heard of a fish pie.
Yeah, we were quite shocked about that. People hadn't heard of fish pie before. You know, it's strange, the different recipes, because there's some recipes that I hear that I've never heard of before. So Tessie's saying, yes, Kate, the PA Dutch makes scrapple. It's basically everything of the hog except for the snout. They did that so they wouldn't waste anything. Scrapple is made in a loaf, and then you cut it and fry it. What does it taste like, Tessie? Is it kind of like bacon, a spam, or would it be like a spam fritter?
I hope he loves sardines and anchovies. I don't like anchovies.
Anchovies are a bit strong, aren't they? I don't like liver, and I don't know if it was cooked properly by someone who really knew how to cook liver. Maybe I could stand it then, but I didn't like it having it as a child, and I've never attempted it since.
I deliver fish all day, every day. There's only a few fishes that I like.
But prior to that, you never had fish at all, did you? You know, it's gradually you've weaned salmon, on. Yeah.
Cod.
Toasted ravioli.
Yeah, you can have anything on toast.
No, are you saying the ravioli is toasted? Oh, liverware sausage, it scrapples like. Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, you'd enjoy that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, probably. I'll have to look into that.
Oh, yeah. Like a pate. Oh, very nice.
So once you slaughter the animal, you may as well use every bit of it.
Every bit of it, the trotters, everything. There's no point killing an animal just for one section of it. You might as well eat the whole thing. Give it some respect.
Yeah, it certainly is frugal cream. It's lovely.
What's that?
Black pudding is delicious.
Yeah, it's lovely. So we all have different acquired tastes, don't we? But yeah.
I remember my dad eating it years ago, and I'd be like, "What are you eating that for? Pig's blood? Ugh, no
It's
way."
the words more than anything, isn't it?
And
But
as soon as you taste it,
if you're prepared to eat bacon, soup and peas pudding. We like pea and ham soup. Yeah. Look, we're over talking about food. I'll be like, munching for something to eat. I can imagine how busy you are, Tessie, with doing everything absolutely yourself.
It would be good to do a live stream with you and just...
We would love to do a live stream with you, Tessie, one time if you have that spare time.
Just comparing the UK to the US and what we do, what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, tripe.
Oh.
I couldn't touch that.
My mum used to eat tripe in milk. Ooh. I'd have to prepare for her in later life, you know, when she still wanted the old flavours and
like
the old tastes.
Meal.
But you can still buy it now, can't you? Because I used to go to, it was a chicken shop. This particular chicken shop was called a Womble Inn. Womble Inn. And they sold tripe amongst other things. And my mum used to love it. Yeah.
Like an old person's thing now.
That'd be fabulous for February. Yeah, it'd be lovely. Excellent, Tessie. That'd be lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, dripping sandwiches.
We all had it, you know. You know, I couldn't stomach
it's only
it now.
fried bread now, isn't it? Just
if it was done like that, but even fried bread would be too greasy for me, I suppose.
But that was just on bread, wasn't it?
You'd just whack it on, wouldn't you? Scraping of it. Yeah. Funny the things we ate on sandwiches and the things.
As long as it fills you up, it doesn't matter. As long as it fills you up and you like it. Tripe sandwiches on a Sunday.
Showing your age now, guys.
Yeah, we enjoy doing the live streams. It's a buzz.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you all like it as well.
So dripping sandwiches are kind of like a flavoured lard. It's a lard, basically. I remember it being the chip fat, the chip pan fat.
It was like a white block. You put it in the chip pan and melted it, and it go into oil, and you just spread that chip fat on your butty. Once it had
coagulated again.
Yeah, on your butty, and then with a bit of salt. Have a dripping butty.
I think we all have, Heather. We're all ladies of a certain age now, love.
But it didn't do us any harm.
Do you know, my son still really loves those salmon paste jars and the ham paste chicken, and stuff like that. He absolutely loves them.
He keeps asking for them. Can you get us some of them paste?
What I did find really interesting, though, was those salmon paste jars, if you can get them cheaply enough. So if we didn't have fresh salmon, or we weren't able to have any tinned salmon, you could take 2 of those salmon paste jars and you could actually make a salmon lasagna or any of those salmon-based meals with a couple of jars of those, or mixed in your pasta or anything like that. And you'll actually get a salmon meal out of it. So it's quite interesting how versatile some foods are.
Eating crabs, mussels, squid and whelks.
Oh,
love squid. Squid's lovely.
Mine was cockles and things like that. I used to love cockles. We used to walk around the shopping centre with one of those forks and a tub of cockles. Yeah, absolutely delicious until you got the sandy bit.
Yeah, there's good memories, right, man. It's good to look back.
I never see cockles sold anywhere now. No, the odd time you'll see them in a glass jar.
If you go to like a seaside town, you will.
Yeah.
It's very rare for us to get them to deliver them.
In the
Now and
fish
again,
company.
fresh cockles.
Yeah.
Get mussels all the time. But cockles.
Even mussels are really expensive in the jars and that in the shop. You never mind fresh. I think they're two completely different things, Kate. Kate's asking her cockles and winkles, the same thing.
No,
they're two different things. I don't know if you do winkles in vinegar, do you? Are they done a different way? Cockles are, they look like a man in a boat. It's the only way I can put it. And soaked in vinegar, but they're delicious.
Everyone's getting hungry now.
I know, yeah. I'll be having toast for supper.
You're making me want liver patty now. That'll be the pregnancy cravings. What cravings are you getting?
Mine were all milkshakes, weren't they? Is that what you were thinking of then? I can't drink a milkshake now, but through both pregnancies, that's all I wanted, milkshake. Good job. That's why they both got strong bones, isn't it?
You've never heard of any of these foods. Lucky you. Never done us any good, any harm.
Any good or any harm? Debatable.
Chicken gizzard with hot sauce and rice. Pickled pig's feet.
That sounds lovely. I'd eat them. So are we on for you for making your corned beef hash tomorrow then?
Yeah, can do.
Sunday tomorrow, so there's no excuse. Very nice.
Bit of pastry.
I'll become camera person tomorrow then, guys. Oh, very good, Michael. 36 years. And where'd you do that? Oh, Sandra, have you got a note from your mum, love?
Yeah, it is. It does your digestive system. We can't drink milk now. I couldn't drink a glass of milk now. I don't know about food or what food is different.
For me, it's heavily fried food. So I can have chips, French fries, those kinds of things. But few and far between. I have to be really careful with them.
Good night, Mother Wolf.
Good night, Mother Wolf. Lovely for you to have joined
Tomorrow.
us. I'm okay with a fried egg because that's done in butter. But oils,
it's mostly the oils.
If it's sunflower oil, vegetable oil, any of those types of oils, they don't sit well at all in my digestive system anymore. If it's cooked in butter or it's cooked in olive oil, I seem to be okay with it. Too heavy a meal won't sit right with me, will it? Trying to think of the milk isn't sitting right with me at all. I'm struggling with dairy products at the moment, and I've never had any of these issues before, but it is digestive.
We've got onto like UHT or the fully skim now, so it's like water.
Whereas we were objectional to that before, where we were like, no, I'm not having that.
Full fat all the time.
I don't think I'd be able to have anything cooked in lard or anything like that now. It just
have you heard of raw fry, Marianne? Raw fry. What's raw fry? Have you heard of raw fry, Marianne?
No, I don't know what that is. Sorry.
You need an air fryer. You can make chips without any oil.
It's investing in machinery this late in the day now, though.
And it's not too bad with chips. You can eat chips. Can't you? In a care home at the moment, but worked at restaurants, care, university, private. Whereabouts are you from, Michael? I deliver to all restaurants, cafes, universities, hotels.
Yeah, it will make a big weight difference, Tessie, because you're taking in lesser oils, aren't you? Lesser fats, but we've got to remember we do have to have some fats in the diet because
It does, it's
they'll
totally
tell us
changed.
how bad it is, but fat's also good for us at the same context, so long as it's limited. So we do have to have some of it. And the milk has completely changed. Completely, it's just not the same substance anymore. Who did you say the company were? Arla in the UK have taken over all the milk companies, dairies, distribution, and it's either being processed differently, it's either got different chemicals in it, or something's happening to it, but it's completely a different taste now.
I mean, we have pasteurized, and the Americans have homogenized.
Yeah, it's the same. Homogenized is our pasteurized milk. Yeah. Thanks, Christina, love.
It's not medical advice, and the gallbladder can react to fatty foods.
Yeah.
Well, you have been told you've got gallstones.
I'm a walking miracle. They've told me I've got a little bit of everything. It's a wonder I can stand up. They're not getting me on the medications. I'm not going there.
Raw fryers, bacon or beef with potatoes and onions and fry it together.
Oh, it sounds lovely.
Delicacy.
Yeah. Well, we've done our own potato versions, haven't we, with onion and bacon and that.
We'll just fry whatever we've got left over.
Well, it's like bubble and squeak the next day. So you've got your vegetables from the roast dinner and add a little bit of meat or spam or anything to it to liven it up and fry that all off together with a bit of butter, and it's a nice bubble and squeak. It's delicious.
Well, raw milk was the milk that we grew up with. It was just normal milk with the cream on top. But it's so expensive now to buy raw milk.
But not just that, we can't get it locally. So the nearest place that we could actually get it would be Yorkshire. And that's quite a travel for us to go from here.
Oh, there was a couple like Lancashire, but it was further out, Preston, right, wasn't it? Homogenized means the cream is broken down and mixed. Pasteurized is heated and sterilized.
Oh, right.
Good night, Declutter and Queen.
Good night, honey. We're going to have to go shortly ourselves now.
Last 15 minutes.
Okay. Anyone got any closing subjects or anything else they'd like to discuss? Why can't you legally buy it, Tanas? You can't legally buy raw milk? There's no laws about raw milk or anything here because the farmers are still selling it, aren't they?
I used to buy raw milk from the Amish neighbours, but the cow died.
That'd be good, BCTV. Let me see how you do it, yeah. Must be pasteurised then,
yeah. Bubble and squeak is awesome.
So tomorrow around the house, we're basically, the Christmas decorations actually went in the loft this week, didn't they? So we got that all tidied up and out the way.
We did.
Well, you did. I was able to resort out. I have what would you call it? A trunk that I keep the towels in, bath towels, hand towels, etc. So I reorganised that. I keep that at the top of the landing. I reorganised that and got that tidied up. As I say, I haven't tidied the shelves up since I put the Christmas decorations away. So there's a bit of organisation in the home we've got to do. Mr. Wallflowers only has a Sunday off because he does work delivering the fish 6 days a week, which is a lot for him, being up early in the morning and off he goes. So I get to take advantage of him on a Sunday and he gets to help me out. So if there's any heavy carrying or anything like that, he gets to do that for me.
Well, see what time I get up.
Fit it round the football.
No. we're not into football after today's results.
Oh, negative results on the football match, so he's not
and
playing.
the vacuum sealer.
You're so welcome, Ellen. Lovely to see you, honey. What? I bought the food
saver.
saver.
It came with the vacuum canister.
It's my Xmas money. It's an investment. You've done well, Anne.
Mm.
And have you tried it out yet? We made ice cream last year, didn't we? And made a video on it. It was only our first attempt.
Dolphin Bear's husband's making bread. I bet it smells lovely.
Yeah, it'll be smelling delicious there, filling the house.
Need to help out. Well, buttering it and eating it. You can't beat homemade bread.
Well, you just can't beat homemade cooking, full stop. As soon as the smell starts, that's it. Your stomach's dancing ready, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Used to have a mug of warm milk straight from the urn. It probably tastes a lot better straight from.
Good night, Tanette. Lovely having you here, love. No, we didn't like goat milk.
Well, we probably would now. Who knows?
Well, I don't know if the taste buds have changed, but one of our elder sons actually asked for it a long while ago, good 10 years ago. And it was quite expensive then, and we paid out for it. As soon as he had the first sip, he didn't like it. A couple of years later, he asked me, could he try the goat cheese? Again, we paid out for it. The goat's milk first, and then the goat's cheese. Yeah. Paid out for it again, and he didn't like it. Well, neither did we, so we ended up giving it away.
But your taste buds change over the time, don't it?
Very good, Anne. See? And you'll have all that stuff stored there for 5 to 7 years. Be great.
And somebody asked us on the comments, and we didn't come back to that, did we? About the clothes and how do we shop for clothes, the frugal clothing. Well, I mean, we buy second hand. That's
mostly we buy second hand, marketplace or eBay, or the free sites or the cheap sale sites,
Jumble
through
sales.
Facebook. Car boot sales.
The food initiative do clothes as well.
What I used to do, I haven't done it for a long while, but what I used to do with one of my friends who was a close neighbour, and she was pretty much the same size as me. What she
Good
decided.
Night, Emmy. Take it easy.
Lovely being with you tonight, Emmy. See you soon.
Put your feet up.
What we both did is clothes that were still decent, but she no longer wanted to wear. She bored of them by that stage. She put in a big bin liner, and I did the same, and we swapped. So they were new to me, and it was new clothing to me, and it was for me to wear, and my clothing that I gave her was new to her, and we both had a new wardrobe, basically, of new clothes that we would, cost us nothing. We'd just done a straight swap. That's quite an interesting
look around
thing
the
to
sales
do.
or I like to wear designer stuff, but I won't pay designer prices. I'll wear Adidas, Nike, or whatever. But I'll buy it on eBay or car boot sales, second hand, 50 pence, £1. I'm not paying £50, £60 for a t-shirt just because it's Adidas. I'll pay 50 pence.
We're not on the catwalk. We're not in the fashion parades or anything like that. There's just no need for it, is there? If you find something that's reasonably priced, that's to your taste, then great. Yeah. We found a lot of stuff last year, didn't we, that we were looking for, and we managed to get them all.
That's it. We're not buying clothes this year. We've got enough.
At all. Not for a good 12 months. We've already been through that and decided. It was a great swap. And she moved too far away to do it in the end again. And I've never got another person the same size as me, local enough to be able to do that trade again. But yeah, it was great.
But there's always people giving clothes away on the marketplace.
That's brilliant. $149 for 2 shirts. That's fabulous.
That's it. The second-hand shops. I mean, second-hand shops are a lot dearer than what they used to be.
See you soon, lovey.
But even like the food initiatives will have a table with clothes on at the back.
Night, Tessie. We'll see you soon, love.
Good
Speak
night,
to you
Tessie.
soon. Good night.
That's it. You don't need to go out buying brand new clothes.
There's enough circulating clothes everywhere. You know, how many people have still got brand new clothing in the wardrobes with the
we don't go
tags
anywhere.
on? Yeah, it's crazy.
And like we'll wear something for the day, and then we'll be back in our shorts and t-shirts or pajamas.
But like I said, we don't throw them in the wash straight away
no.
anymore. I put them in the hanger in the wardrobe, and they can be worn at some point. Well, that's a good point, Devon Steve. You stock up on the socks and the pants and that, and it will be something that we're monitored on. So, you know, do make sure that you've got enough of them, and enough to replace what you need, you know, without having to go out and buy. Good night, beautiful. Thank you so much for being with us. Speak to you soon, honey.
That's it. There's plenty of clothes out there.
There's plenty of everything out there. There's nothing new under the sun.
You don't need to buy new.
You know, if you start looking for things, and give yourself, you know, a month, 2 months, if you need it that drastically, give yourself that edge. And if you can't find it free or really reduced price, and you've got the finances to go out and buy it, make that promise to yourself. You'll buy it after a couple of months, maybe, if you still need it, and you've looked and you can't get it in any other source.
He's not saying he's monitored by his clothing, but that's what could be coming in. That's what the World Economic Forum wants. That's what they want to impose on you, to restrict you from buying things. And he's not saying he's restricted now. He's saying it could come in the future.
Yeah. Well, more than likely will. You know.
You're allowed to buy 3 items a year. You're allowed to travel outside your area twice a year. It's control.
Everything will be control, won't it?
And if you don't comply, they'll switch you off.
Right, we're going to have to go ourselves. I need to use the bathroom and get myself another hot drink. It's been absolutely wonderful talking to you all tonight. I just so much enjoy all your comments and your company.
We always think, what are we going to talk about when we get there? And then it just goes mad. You just talk about everything.
So hopefully we'll be with you next week.
Yeah.
And talk about the topics of the world and where we're at.
There's another thing that we didn't say about the new. There's a new campaign out by a friend of ours that's trying to set up a big ad campaign, a big national ad campaign, and it's called Cash is Freedom, and it's about keeping the cash and not going digital and using cash as much as you can. It's a Facebook group, and it's called Cash is Freedom. I've been in touch with him and trying to get him to come on either next week or in a couple of weeks' time to like explain. He's behind the Truth newspaper as well.
The Truth Light.
The Truth Light newspaper. He started that up, which is a big truth newspaper in the UK at the minute. So we're going to try and get him on for like a kind of interview sort of thing.
Just to explain the campaign, it's called Cash is Freedom.
It's a Facebook
group
at the moment.
And it's going to be a pretty large campaign. And the guy who runs it is absolutely fabulous. Who's heading it up, shall I say, not running. And he headed up the Truth Light newspaper, which is another fabulous free paper that we get locally.
I mean, you can get it online as well. Truth Light. If you look that up online, you can get it online.
Newspaper, yeah. Please look on Facebook for the Cash is Freedom campaign, and if you feel you can support them, all well and good. Yeah. Okay.
Lovely
thanks, talking
everyone.
to you all, and we'll speak to you again soon. Good night, my lovelies. Good night.
Love you.